Hi everyone, Jennifer here, back with another movie talk spoiler. And this spoiler is on a movie that I just recently did a review on, and is a movie that has been one of my personal favorites since I was a little girl. And that movie is The Wizard of Oz. Now, before we get started, I'd just like to say one thing, and that is, if you have not yet seen The Wizard of Oz, I suggest you turn this video off right now, as this is going to be about spoilers that are in The Wizard of Oz. Okay, now for those of you who are still watching, I'm going to assume that you have seen The Wizard of Oz already, and that anything I reveal in this video is not going to ruin your enjoyment of the video, of the movie, since, well, you already know what's going to happen. Now, there are two things I want to talk about. One I'm going to touch on very lightly, and that is the theory behind why The Wizard of Oz starts and ends in black and white, but the bulk of it is in color. And why the color version just happens to be when Dorothy is in Oz. The other thing is how, or not really how, but the unusual predicament or setup, and not really unusual, but how it's determined that the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion actually already had what they were looking for from the wizard. Now, to start off with, the theory behind why when Dorothy is in Kansas at the beginning and the end of the movie, it's black and white, but as soon as she steps out of her house into Oz, we're magically transported to this wonderful world of Technicolor. My theory on that, again, this is a theory, is that it's possible that Dorothy dreamed everything that happened to her in Oz, because right before we see everything that's happening outside her window, she is struck on the head, and we do see this almost dreamlike shuffle with her eyes closed. So it's very possible that she got hit on her head and dreamed everything, and that's why Oz is in color. In fact, there are people out there who say that that is the exact reason why when she steps out of her house, everything is in Technicolor in Oz. And it's a very plausible theory, because when she wakes up after clicking the ruby slippers together at the end of the movie and saying there's no place like home, she is lying in her bed with her aunt tending to her like she had been sick. So it is a very plausible theory. But I would like to hear what your theories are on that. Not the technical theory of, oh, well, they had the technology to do Technicolor and that's why they did it. Yes, that's why they did it that way, but the theory in the movie, basically, is what I'm looking for. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Now, for the other thing that I wanted to talk about, how the Cowardly Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow already had what they wanted from the wizard. Now, what did they want? Okay, the Cowardly Lion wanted courage. That's why he's the Cowardly Lion. He's not brave. The Tin Man wanted a heart because the person who built him forgot to give him one. And the Scarecrow wanted a brain. Now, turns out that, yeah, they already had what they wanted. The Scarecrow already had a brain. The Tin Man already had a heart. The Cowardly Lion already had courage. What did the wizard give them? He gave them validation. The Scarecrow got a diploma. The Tin Man got a testimonial, a little heart-shaped pocket watch. And the lion got a medal that said courage. But these are just things. They already proved that they had what they were looking for. Throughout the whole movie, who came up with the plans? Who thought up what they were going to do to save Dorothy when the Wicked Witch of the West kidnapped her? It was the Scarecrow. What happened to the Tin Man all the time? He rusted. Why did he rust all the time? Because he was always crying. So you know, the Scarecrow's always coming up with the ideas. He's obviously smart, which means he obviously has a brain. And if the Tin Man's crying all the time and rusting himself, he obviously has a heart. And what about the Lion? Yeah, who always went in first to, help Dorothy and whatnot? It was the Lion. Despite how scared he was, he would go forward towards what made him scared. He did what he had to do to keep his friend safe. That is courage. I mean, and courage is not courage isn't being afraid of nothing. Courage is still being afraid of something, but doing what you have to do. And that's exactly what the Cowardly Lion did. He wasn't a cowardly lion. He was a brave lion. He just thought he was cowardly because he always ran away from stuff. And it's like, just because someone always runs away from something doesn't mean that they don't have courage. It means they're smart enough to know when they can't handle something. And even if someone's scared and they still do something, it's like, you know what? That's bravery. People who do brave things all the time, it's like, you know what? Just because they're being awarded for bravery doesn't mean that they were scared. They were scared. They just did what they had to do. So it's like, that's kind of like, this is something I picked up when I got older and I watched the movie. It's like, well, wait a minute. The Scarecrow wants a brain. He's the one who's always coming up with the plans. The Tin Man wants a heart. He's always rusting himself because he's crying all the time. The Cowardly Lion wants courage, but he's always the first one to go in. He was the first one to go into the castle to rescue Dorothy, and he was afraid of going to see the wizard, but he went in to see the wizard. So, yeah, they already had what they wanted. They just had to prove it to themselves. Anyways, I'd like to hear your thoughts on how the three of them actually proved themselves to have what they were actually looking for. You can feel free to leave them in the comment section. Just, you know, again, my comment rules still apply. No mean comments, no, you know, bad or curse words. I'm okay with debates, but, you know, please be respectful to each other, or, you know, please keep them civil, and, you know, be respectful to me and each other. Those are my only concerns. Okay, as always, thank you for watching, and have a very nice day.